There's a line here now at the Anointed Temple of Praise polling site, but voters tell me the line did stretch all the way into the parking lot, but about half of that line left because of the wait caused by the voting problems. Craig Wilson's picture is on the sign here at New Beginning Baptist Church where he is the pastor, but now his picture is popping up other places, including this mugshot after his arrest for forgery and theft. Deacons here at the church say they don't know anything about that arrest, but now they have some questions. This is a certified copy of a marriage certificate that shows former Oakland Mayor Scott Ferguson married Magdalena Mora here at the Marion Courthouse on Valentine's Day. The only problem is he tells me he is still married to the mother of his 4 children, and that woman is not Mora. That's right, Richard. Being cold and in the dark is not a good combination, and here in Arkansas, there are almost 100,000 people without power. The governor has declared a state of emergency, but the kids here in Craighead County, they don't seem to mind. They've been out here sledding since the sun came up this morning, and as you can see, it's getting dark and they're still going strong. Students here at Bartlett High School get to experience the dangers of texting and driving firsthand by trading these shades for these shades. This is actually a simulator where students can put it on their face and then text while driving through an obstacle course. Former Oakland Mayor Scott Ferguson says the first step in restoring a relationship with his family was to resign as mayor. He says the state of his life and the neglect of his wife and 4 children was only made apparent to him after a series of interviews he's done with me over the past couple of weeks. He announced that resignation in an exclusive interview just a little bit ago.
Effective today, I'm going to resign as mayor of the town of Oakland. In my personal life, I've displayed dishonesty and I've not been true to my wife.
Former pastor and now former mayor Scott Ferguson says he doesn't think he can be an effective leader anymore because of his personal problems.
When I do wrong, that, a part of my responsibility to God and to others is to confess my wrong and do right and bring forth the fruits, the evidence of my of the sorrow that's in my heart.
Ferguson says he became consumed by his role as mayor and started doing things he never thought were possible. He says stories I've done about him played a big role in his decision to resign.
It's really caused me to re-examine my life and to see the corrections that I need to make in my life. And it's something that I've needed and really am appreciative of.
Ferguson's trustworthiness is being questioned by more people than his wife. The state is investigating Ferguson's spending after a complaint was filed. Vice Mayor Chris Goodman now takes over as mayor and will continue looking into spending.
The first thing is to understand what's going on in the books and to make sure the town is running efficiently from a budget perspective.
Ferguson was first elected mayor of Oakland back in 2010 when the former mayor was removed from office on federal charges of misuse of city money. Now, even though he's resigning, that investigation and audit into the city finances right now is still ongoing. Coming up at 5, you can hear even more from the former mayor and the man who is taking his place. I'm Adam Hammond, WREG News Channel 3. Andrew Lloyd would be finishing up the 6th grade, getting ready for baseball season or his band's spring concert. But instead, the little boy who loved Batman is here at a cemetery in Alcorn County, Mississippi. This grave sits just a few miles from where Andrew's father killed him before turning the gun on himself, something family members like Josh Burris still have a tough time dealing with.
He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve that at all. He had his whole life ahead of him.
Andrew's death could have been prevented. The murder-suicide happened just months after Andrew's father, Billy, had a standoff with Farmington police at this apartment. Police Chief Anthony Holmes tells me Andrew was in that apartment as police pointed guns at his father. According to Mississippi state law, Chief Holmes is required to report the standoff to the Department of Human Services because Andrew was put in a possibly deadly situation by his father, which is a case of child neglect. Holmes didn't want to do an on-camera interview, but told me he never turned the incident over to DHS, even though he's required to by law. The chief said he assumed family members would. He told me, quote, "Could I have? Yes. Should I have? Yes. But I knew it was getting done," end quote. News Channel 3 went to the Alcorn County DHS office to demand answers and find out if officers ever investigated any claims of neglect.
We're not allowed to because of the confidential nature of what we do. We're not allowed to discuss.
But they wouldn't talk after promising an interview. The Mississippi Department of Human Services refuses to say if they ever looked into Billy Lloyd after the July standoff. Now, this is a different policy from neighboring Tennessee, where the state will confirm or deny if they ever looked into child neglect allegations. Now, this is the same lack of accountability some people say cost Andrew his life in the first place. After staying a few days with family, Andrew was returned to his father when he was allowed to walk out of the Magnolia Regional Mental Health Ward. Cousin Josh says they thought Andrew had to go back home.
Well, we didn't give him back to him. Like I said, we didn't have a choice. The law made us.
Could it have been prevented? Certainly, had the child been removed from the home.
Mississippi's Attorney General Jim Hood says Farmington's police chief is trained to turn in suspicions of child neglect to the state.
Could have been the officer wasn't aware of this reporting requirement to the Department of Human Services, or that they didn't interpret that to be putting the child in harm's way.
He says the law allows officers to use their own judgment to determine if a child is in fact in a dangerous situation. But in this case, he thinks officers used bad judgment.
Most people would say that puts a child in harm's way if the child is in close proximity enough to be shot, and if the officers open fire.
The Alcorn District Attorney, who would prosecute Chief Holmes for breaking the law, says he never received an investigation, and it's up to Holmes to investigate himself. At this point, no Mississippi law enforcement officials have agreed to investigate those claims. News Channel 3 will continue to push for answers for Andrew. In Farmington, Mississippi, I'm Adam Hammond, WREG News Channel 3. Claudia and Richard, this is the FBI Command Center, and as you may notice from this time yesterday, it's not quite as busy as it was then. That's because trucks full of investigators have been going in and out of there, headed out about 10 minutes that way to the woods around Adam May's trailer. That's where they're zeroing in, hoping to find the fugitive and those missing Bain girls. Dozens of heavily armed teams in camouflage are combing the woods around Adam May's trailer in Union County, Mississippi. The FBI says they are continuing to search in the woods around Adam May's house because this is where the evidence and leads keep bringing them. Agents have conducted over 100 interviews and are getting tips from around the country. A neighbor says those woods are very dense and run all the way to New Albany. He says they are full of hunting camps and several places Mays could be hiding with the Bain girls. Leland Hurt lives at the edge of those woods and says he's fearful, but that's not stopping him from getting out and doing some yard work.
I know these folks around here, and everybody's very on edge. Very on edge.
Hurt says town officials have told them to stay alert and keep their doors locked.
I even got my guns out and kind of dusted them off. I'm not a big gun guy, but I got a gun just in case.
The FBI tells me the local sheriff has made several arrests because people are interfering with the investigation. Several people possibly wanting a piece of the $175,000 reward. Richard Norman was arrested just after this interview Wednesday.
Nothing like that's ever happened around here. I've lived around here my whole life. You wouldn't even think he was the type of person to do that. It was always weird, though.
The Union County Sheriff's Office says he was picked up for probation violation for burglary, but wouldn't confirm if it had anything to do with interference in the Mays investigation. And of course, the FBI says they are focusing on those woods because they believe that is where he may be, but they say he could be anywhere in the country. And if you have any information, you're asked to call them at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Now, coming up at 6, I'm going to tell you how this manhunt is changing life in North Mississippi. I'm Adam Hammond, WREG News Channel 3.
Where are you headed?
Where we headed?
You can tell by her shoes, Kara Markham loves sparkly things. You like wearing those?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know.
It's because they're sparkly?
Yeah.
Tonight, Kara may trade in these sparkly shoes for a shiny tiara if she's elected homecoming queen. The Bolivar High senior class is rallying around this special needs student by voting her to the homecoming court. Are you wearing a dress, or how's it work?
My dress.
Have you already picked your dress out?
Yeah.
What's it look like? Or is it a secret?
Just do it.
She gave me a clue. It's black, but no other hints. Kayla McKinney is Kara's escort for the homecoming court.
She makes everybody's day better, and this is just giving back to her, I guess, because she deserves it.
He says she brings the entire school together, and the fact that she's on the homecoming court shows the school's kindness and acceptance.
I feel really privileged and blessed to be a part of this because she's just a great person, and I wouldn't want to walk out anybody but her.
Kara's teacher, Angela Galloway, says her sense of humor, charm, and positive attitude got Kara the votes and makes her a role model for other students.
She just brings everybody together, and it's great to see everybody embrace everyone, no matter what's going on.
On your date?
A crown would complete this fairy tale for Kara, and she may even seal the deal with a kiss for her Prince Charming. Would you be excited?
Yeah.
In Bolivar, I'm Adam Hammond, WREG News Channel 3.